An early lead for the Spaniard, but can he pounce while it's hot and build a dominant lead in the grand finals of midweek muster number 5? Let's find out. We are in here after a 3-1 showdown. Result for Wham and VortiX to make it through, beating both Louis and Dumu respectively. Early lead for VortiX, but now Ayyubids versus Delhi. A great way for Wham to strike back. Delhi, they've been looking scary recently. These fast castle builds, or rather playing the castle without hesitation into elephant plays, just kind of unraveling a lot of what Ayyubids used to benefit from. Wondering if maybe the line you have to take here is a little bit more aggressive. We've been seeing some logistics dervish plays recently in Feudal Age, which could lean into a Desert Raider and attack formation against Ghazi. Question is VortiX game for that? We've already seen him actually in the series against Dumu being willing to play into that dervish. I think it'd be more impactful here. And a little bit ironic considering that Wham and Puppy Paw made this one of their signature moves in the last several weeks. Well, moment of truth fast approaching here. And the Gambas are fairly even. 55% for VortiX. Yeah, slight edge there because I think the logistics can be good. But whoa, he goes growth. That's a little bit surprising. I think VortiX might be looking at fast castle. Growth for longer value in Feudal is kind of intriguing. You can outbloat your opponent, but you're outbloating your opponent and they have better advantages there, right? Ghazi scale very well. You're against a Civ that is going to get all their eco-techs for free, courtesy of the fact that they just need scholars to research. So my feeling here is that VortiX is probably going to open with 1 or 2 units and then just look to go castle. Spawn is pretty good for that, by the way. Deer are close enough to shove in. He's on the gold, the berries here. As long as you aren't up against a Civ that outpost rushes you, which, please, like these guys are going to do it. As long as you're not against an outpost rushing Civ, this is quite a nice spawn for VortiX. Just gives him a focused area to protect. Meanwhile, spawn for Wham. A little bit rougher with the 4th gold, but shouldn't matter past a certain point where he's generating a lot of passive gold. Tree lines aren't too bad either. Second one's a little bit more aggressive. My biggest worry is if this does end up in a fast castle and you see VortiX just try to lead camel lances, where is Wham's food? That's not user-friendly, guys. That's like trying to play Age of Empires 4 with your keyboard unplugged. Definitely not user-friendly. The food sources are really far out there. In terms of sheep, he actually done worse than VortiX, right? 13 sheep to 15. So something that'll be nice, though, is Wham will, of course, eventually get access to the play to just drag deer in with Pro Scouts. But the berries themselves are beyond the threshold here, right? Very scary territory against the fast castle. Wheelbarrow being researched by VortiX, probably expecting the Ghazi to come poke. I love the efficiency. Check this. Moved out the berries further away, so the growth wing. Every single one of these gets an extra 50 food. That's 300 extra safe food for you as the Ayyu. Take up the play. A lot of wood being gathered, so we will at least see an opening. Probably stables here. Makes a lot of sense. Don't really want to build archery range because you're expecting Ghazi anyway. And there we go. And this sets you up to just open with, say, a Desert Raider or 2 maybe, and then go for Lancers afterwards. Wow, meanwhile. There you go. Expected play. I've been watching a lot of AoE 4. How about you guys? Have you been catching all the games? What have you guys been thinking so far of the midweek musters? I'm glad to see it getting more and more growth. That's my hopes for it. I mean, I want to be able to grow to the big numbers so we can bring in sponsors and grow the scene overall. So, appreciate all the support. I think this really is what AoE 4 has been missing. That and lands, but one thing at a time. So, Wham, no blacksmiths yet. I don't think he's going to prioritize the blacksmiths over more pressure, just because you're not really ever expecting Ayyubids to play a long feudal. So that because of that, you don't feel like you need to rush beastsmiths as quickly. It's more important just to have the troops to harass. We have got double stable now and horsemen coming. So VortiX, he didn't even go Desert Raider, but I like this. I think you can only go Desert Raider first if you play Dervish. If you don't have the Dervish, you don't have the heal and the unease, right? So you suck. So getting the horseman to outmass, and then you build a Desert Raider. Because at that stage, what you end up with is you end up with a debuff that brings Ghazi's damage down to basically horseman levels. Pretty cool read. On top of that, Golden Age did just activate, so VortiX's economy did get bolstered. And we're not at the stage where WAMS has been bolstered yet, right? Ecotechs are starting to come through in 25 seconds. Cool thing about this is although you get an edge, it's not as big of an edge. 15% versus the 10 of the Golden Age. The Golden Age didn't cost anything but the buildings, right? Other awkward thing is that horticulture tech, 10%. So Golden Age already mirrors that. Do we have any win percentages on Delhi on the tournament? We do have our week-to-weeks, so it varies because obviously we change map pool quite frequently. But based on this week, the current ongoing, in terms of the win statistics, Abbasid is actually the best performing Civ with almost 80% win rate across 9 picks. Delhi is actually 50-50 right now. So kind of hit or miss, but to be expected because Delhi is also going to be a very high prior pick. Whereas a lot of like high-level players have actually been prioritizing Abbasid bans. Outside of that, Juji is actually neck and neck with a 77.8% win rate with 9 games played as well. So Juji and Abbasid's the best performers. Just behind that, of course, English. And a nice little wall for Wham. So it looks like he's going to be sneaking out with the spears to try and lock that in. VortiX, meanwhile, has bloated quite a lot of cav. This is a bad engagement for Wham. VortiX weirdly hesitant here. Oh, wow. Bit of a mistake. The Desert Raider leads the formation. He's going to peel him away now, but too little too late. That was a miss micro. VortiX, there was no need to rush away like that. The moment he turned around, the Desert Raider went to the back. Yeah, I think he was taken by surprise. He wasn't expecting that because you have to remember, he didn't have a scout with him. He only had the Desert Raider. On top of that, it was turning a tree line. So, wham, just taking full advantage of that detail. VortiX now going to archers. We have got prolonged feudal play here, folks. Now all of a sudden that blacksmith detail matters because VortiX has done something almost taboo amongst Ayyubid players. Pre-10 minutes blacksmiths. I'm not even memeing. It's so rare to see for Ayyubids, but very valuable here. The only time you often see blacksmiths in the early game is when they fast castle and they need to go golems, right? And they're like, oh, we need an undermesh. Pretty cool read, though. Undermesh is already there for WoW, though. He read this correctly. Right. Spin him as well. I do like the walls from VortiX. He's kind of almost at a point where he's safe. Very intriguing pivot, though. I thought he'd try to go for the west side, but this is a safer point in the game to try for east. He'll get the berries, and then he can try to contest west later when he's got a big enough army to do so, where the majority of food is located. Ones, if you think VortiX is going to win this. Twos, if you think Wham's taking it. It's an interesting predicament, actually. I think VortiX is being a bit ambitious with this switch into archers. Because what you now got is a dynamic where Wham can stay at home with the spears and attack with the Ghazi. You can't do the same as VortiX. Ghazi will beat archers defending, right? And you're not going to send the archers forward unless you're convinced you can absolutely win. So, like, VortiX basically has to play a very dangerous game of cat and mouse until maybe, like, 17 or 18 minutes. At which point his archer mass should be big enough to attack. So, really, right now, VortiX just has to do a very good job defending, which, ironically, is not what he's most known for. He's usually most known for being the attacker. Looks like VortiX is going back for that Desert Raider now, so finally the debuff is going to arrive again. Wham does now, of course, have the survival techniques on the way. Pro Scouts was prioritized here, so safe food coming home, meaning these horsemen are going to be rather sad about their existence. Changes every time camera's changed? Does it? What, 1 and 2? No, it doesn't. What are you on about? We're talking about Willis. Just changed camera like 15 times. I feel like the what you talking about Willis really shows my age. I'm pretty sure that TV show started before I was even born. Sacred Site's being contested here. Wham has already been getting paid from this, though. Wow, did he go for textiles? He did. Without Scholar's garrison, right? So it took him 25 seconds. So he's actually further behind, just a little bit over 4. However, dive coming in. Wham needs to get around the back of the formation. The Desert Raider at the front, maybe a mistake from VortiX. He only has 1 in the mixer right now. That debuff is doing a lot of work, though. And the second one arrives at the perfect moment here. Wham! He tries to brute force it and gets punished there. VortiX almost perfectly timed that to keep the Camelonis going at all times. Man, what a cool fight. Needs to be careful now. A little bit of an overextension here. Wham flying quite a lot of Scholars. Didn't have them involved in the fight. VortiX just trying to bait with the scout by a little bit of time. Keep some of the Ghazi off of him. But now problematic because VortiX kind of drained his front line there a little. And the Ghazi flood continues. Wham, just not letting up in the numbers. The Camel unease, definitely impactful. And remember, if the micro isn't on point, the Camel Riders can actually win the fight. They are substantially better at killing than being killed in a one-on-one. Right? Ghazi are going to get the double damage, up to 24. Meanwhile, these bad boy Desert Raiders, 26 damage. And they have melee armor. So very, very big difference there. You need to kind of like get 2-on-1. Very difficult to do when you're talking about 20 cav plus. Spaniard now taking advantage of this to decap everywhere on the map. South side should at least get blocked out. In fact, now seeing this VortiX should just look to leave. We'll get out in time. But that's 2 Sacred Sites taken away. Wham's gold gen has been heavily hit. It looks like VortiX is getting ready for the next stage. We still have units being built, but we're not seeing him commit every piece of resource. He's keeping 1 hand in the cookie jar and 1 on the mouse. Which is very inefficient for gaming, by the way, guys. Meanwhile, I have 1 hand on the mouse, 1 hand on a bottle of protein works. Because I can drink that and play at the same time. We smart. Go kill a pigeon. Bloomery as well from VortiX. I mean, pretty smart here. You kind of need to now that it's becoming more and more about cav. The Camelonis is nice, but you're talking about extra DPS differential, right? With the melee tech 1 coming in and now the defense, that would be a +2 in favor of Wham, right? And that he would take 1 less damage, do 1 more damage on a unit that's already doing more damage than the horses. Good read so far by VortiX to not fall behind. In fact, being ahead of Delhi on tech timings, I mean, that's why he went Growth Wing, right? Without Growth Wing, you don't get that advantage because you can't afford it. But if you think about the maths of it, you know, on average, how long is a tech going to take? 1.5 to 2 minutes most of the time for Delhi? Well, if you have 3 extra villages, which you get for the Growth Wing, 3 villages can reliably generate about 120 resources a minute without tech upgrades. Adding Golden Age just as a default, and you're already basically getting close to enough per minute to afford your level 1 blacksmith techs. Desert Raiders again at the back of the formation, though. This is the problem. Like, these guys, every time you take them out with the Horsemen, you're slowing yourself. I almost feel like VortiX would benefit more from leaving these guys at home because they're very expensive. Ghazi just going to pick off another 4. And that's lofty. That's 720 resources down the drain for nothing. VortiX starting to arrive with the archers, but I mean, at this stage, without the camel IDs, you need to run. Another camel on the way, but he's not here yet. And wow, I'm taking advantage of this now with 37 Ghazi. Jumps on in. Choke point is working against him. He just needs to shuffle around. Good read by VortiX to hold here because he would have got pinched otherwise. However, he's still going to get pinched. Camel moving in, but unprotected. It means the Ghazi can immediately just counter him out. Horseman retreat also getting blocked. And VortiX gets caught out in the most messy of fashions here. That attempt to raid may have cost him everything here in this game. Tech up is almost complete. Advancement wing in 15 seconds. But now you have to contest with 30 Ghazi. Oi, oi, oi. And the spears on top of that. Also finding the villages. He's getting everywhere. It's like honey in the cogs. Reaches into every crack and crevice. And GG gets cooled. Wow. Able to flood the Ghazi to chef's kiss completion. Damn. Crazy game. What do you guys think? Does the long play in feudal work for Ayyubids if they play at home? Was the issue here maybe the VortiX overextended a bit when he should have been a bit more chill? Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll catch you all in the next chapter. And also, predict it. Who's taking game 3?